Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today I was tagged in an interesting thread. Shout out to this user on Twitter, Fusion Counter, basically going over their predictions for the upcoming banners up to and including the 11th anniversary. And I thought it was quite interesting to go through this for a video. Because obviously at the moment, you know, we've got some content coming out tomorrow. Then we've got the live stream on Saturday, well, Saturday morning for me, late Friday night for some of you guys in the US, where they will be talking about the upcoming like next celebration and the next character that's going to be released. Assumingly they're going to show not just who it is, but probably reveal the card details and stuff as well. Obviously we don't know. So in the lead up to Saturday, obviously there isn't really much to do other than speculate about everything that is going to be coming out and everything that is going to be happening. So I thought this would be a good time to go through this. As you know, we've been talking about my own speculation for these various different banners, and since I got tagged in this today, I thought, you know what, let's just go through it for this video, see what we think about these predictions, and then obviously I of course invite you guys to let me know what you think and what your predictions are going to be for the next lot of banners that are going to be coming out. So it says here, my predictions for the upcoming banners up to and including the 11th anniversary. Larger the images, the more I personally hope for. And no dimer, because I'd given up predicting it. So there you go. They tagged me and Truth if you want to make a video during this dead period. Well, here we are. So let's start off with, so crossover celebration, end of October to November. So Gohan Black obviously says the larger the image is, the more wanted of a prediction that is for him, right? So Gohan Black being the #1 wanted pick, which I know for a lot of people definitely tracks. It's something that I've talked about, like it would be very cool to have come to the game. However, as we have discussed in previous videos and everything, Gohan Black of course is not even currently playable in Sparking Zero, the game that he actually comes from, so it probably is a little bit of an unlikely choice, I think, just because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's completely impossible, but it definitely would be wild for Gohan Black to be a playable character in a different game after having not actually released like in the game that he like comes from. And then we have Charlotte and then Masked Saiyan. Now Charlotte is a big one. Obviously this has been speculated, talked about, hoped for, theorized ever since Legends pretty much came into existence. The idea of getting a Charlotte card in Dokkan, which I do think would be pretty cool. I think it would make for a very good crossover. Obviously, it's not something we've talked about in the past, like a big thing. It's not something that Dokkan and Legends can do kind of like as a combined thing, because Dokkan doesn't really have a specific like banner character, like a trademark character, leader character, whatever you want to call it, to give to Legends in response. I think in the past when we talked about it, somebody said something like Trunks and Broly as a card, because obviously that is a Dokkan quest mode story, like based free-to-play character. But it doesn't have to be a two-way thing. Dokkan could just easily have a collab celebration or a crossover celebration with Charlotte. And then of course Masked Saiyan I've obviously talked about quite a bit recently, with the fact that Divers has their anniversary as we go into November, and they have revealed Masked Saiyan as one of their anniversary characters, who is their first character that is essentially like what we would call in Dokkan a crossover character, right? Not a normal official quote unquote canon whatever character, right? Which everyone else in Divers has been up until this Masked Saiyan release. Obviously the guaranteed EZAs, these are the Heroes ones. I talked about these in a video the other day. They should be the batch of Heroes EZAs that we get this year. Who knows if they will do more. And then of course we have potential EZAs and Super EZAs, all these Xenoverse units, the Super Saiyan 2 Trunks and the Super Saiyan 3 Vegetas. I think I missed off the physical Xeno Trunks and AGL Super Saiyan Xeno Trunks should be here. And then possible Super EZAs, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, because obviously he's a crossover character. And then Masked Saiyan, it says he's weird, has a Dokkan event, but isn't a Dokkan Fest character, so probably won't Super EZA, but who knows. This is a thing that we've speculated about already, right? Like, they have said originally that starting out, Super EZAs are just going to be for Dokkan Fests and LRs, but eventually at some point that will probably change. And also, if any 2 units in the game were going to be the ones that could be a potential exception, Marseillan and Tapion are those unfeatured SSRs, but they have their own Dokkan event with their own Dokkan medals. So if ever any other unit was going to get a Super EZA, I could see it being Marseillan or AGL Tapion. So, and that would, of course, it would make sense if we were getting a new Marseillan, obviously preferably if he had a different name, but otherwise, you know, seen that happen a lot in Dokkan recently where the new unit and an EZA have the same name. So it's still very possible that that could still happen. So in terms of a crossover celebration, a lot of this stuff we've already talked about or predicted before. I could definitely see this all sort of coming to pass if we are indeed getting a crossover celebration. So then we have an Android/Cell Saga celebration to part 1 end of November to December, so after the crossover. It says we really need a new Light Grenade Piccolo. So this is the most wanted option, a Dokkan Fest Piccolo with the Light Grenade in modern quality Dokkan animations and stuff. This would be pretty awesome. Then a secondary choice is an Android 16 and then a second form Cell. Android/Cell Saga, we definitely need buffs for androids. We just got that Hellfighter 17 World Tournament EZA, which, like, on paper he's really good, but he just doesn't really have a good android like team to be run on currently. So I think a team like buffing Android/Cell Saga, or just, I guess to be fair, androids in general, because Hellfighter 17 of course isn't on the Android/Cell Saga team. But then for the EZAs and Super EZAs, we've got physical LR Cell, Super EZA, the Tech Gohan and Gohan. I really want to see them get a good EZA. I really liked that unit on release. And there's a bunch of other Android/Cell Saga characters here. Obviously, the Tech Androids and the banner unit Jiroan 19 would be really, really good with EZAs and make another really strong like Android team comeback. Same with the Friend LR Androids getting a Super EZA. That would be really good. And then, of course, we have all these Trunkses like Future Gohan and Trunks. I don't know if it's too early for physical Future Gohan Super EZA, but physical Trunks Super EZA could definitely be a possibility as well. So this would be pretty good. Ideally, I would want an upcoming celebration that had Android related stuff to be a proper buff for the Androids team. But Android/Cell Saga is a category that hasn't really seen any buffs for a while. So this would be pretty good. I'd be really excited, as long as they don't fumble it as well, to see the Heart Virus Goku EZA, because when he came out, he was a really, really good like dominant slot 1 tank for a while. So a lot of teams could still use one of those in this meta, so his EZA could be really, really impactful. So this is part 1, end of November to December. Then we have part 2. The fact Trunks' first Super Saiyan transformation isn't animated in Dokkan and Vegeta's final flash isn't voiced is a shame. So yeah, part 2 LRs, either the Trunks from the History of Trunks special with him going Super Saiyan for the first time, or a Super Vegeta with a Final Flash active skill, so it's voiced. That would definitely be very cool if we're doing this Android/Cell Saga themed celebration. Obviously, both part 2s are not androids, so it doesn't help with the androids buffs, as I was saying I would personally like to see. But obviously, going for an Android/Cell Saga celebration, this would be very good, and they could be very good picks. And then, yeah, obviously it's the same potential EZAs and Super EZAs because they're the theme of this 2-part celebration. So we'd obviously get some in part 1 and some in part 2. So I feel like this makes a lot of sense. Android/Cell Saga is an interesting category that, like I say, hasn't been buffed for a while. So if we got all of these EZA, I mean, I don't know, the filler kind of celebration, even though, you know, Heroes, arguably you could call it a filler, like it was its own special thing. But if it's just being replaced with a crossover celebration and then following up with a normal, this is what we would essentially call a filler Dokkan Fest celebration. So we probably wouldn't get all of these EZAs. So we'd get a nice selection, hopefully a couple in part 1, couple in part 2. So that takes us up to basically towards the end of January. So then we have the New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest, Saiyan Saga Goku versus Vegeta, voiced ×4 Kamehameha versus Galagun. I mean, this is something that I think we definitely need to see. The way they did the LRs, like the part 2 LRs for the, was it the 7th year? I can't remember when they came out now. The STR Kaioken Goku and Tech Grade 8 Vegeta. Obviously, the Vegeta wasn't quite the Vegeta that we wanted. We want the proper, like, Gallic Gun one, not the Giant Ape one. And the Kaioken Goku wasn't particularly great. So these two, as the New Year Dual Dokkan Fest, could certainly be very interesting with those voiced, like, active skill attacks with, like, top quality animations. Having the proper Kamehameha versus Kaioken, like, Beam Clash attacks as really good active skills, I think would definitely be super fun. And then we have potential Easy A's and Super Easy A's. The Bardock Squad Giant Ape characters, I guess, to go along with... would Vegeta... I mean, would this Vegeta have a Great Ape active skill? I feel these guys are kind of out of place if he doesn't, right? But we want this guy to be the Gallic Gun Vegeta. So I don't know if those guys would really fit sort of like the theme here. But obviously we've got the Raditz and the Banner Unit Nappa. We've got Goku and Piccolo. Yeah, Jirobe. I mean, Tora, Bardock, and the other Bardock in terms of Tech Bardock, Easy A, Physical Bardock, Super Easy A, you would imagine that at least one of these two would have Pure Saiyans as a leader skill. And so potentially, like, these guys would, like, the new Bardock Easy A or Super Easy A would be pretty good for Vegeta's team, depending on leader skill. I would assume it'd be Vegeta that would have Pure Saiyans, I'm not sure. But I guess then it makes sense if those guys are going to Easy A and Super Easy A for the Bardock squad to then Easy A as well, because they could just go with the Easy A Tech Bardock as opposed to necessarily being a super good choice for them. But I mean, again, if he has a Pure Saiyans lead, they are Pure Saiyans. But yeah, I think this is a good pick for a dual Dokkan Fest for New Year's. It's something that people have wanted to see. It's strange that we don't have it properly represented in the game, the Kaioken, like Kamehameha versus Gallic Gun Beam Clash. So I think this would be cool as a New Year Dual Dokkan Fest. Saiyan Saga is one of those one of those things, I should say, that for the people that really want it, it's like super hype, and then for a lot of people it's just not, and they don't care too much about it. So I feel like the New Year Dual Dokkan Fest spot is a good place for it, because if it's something that you're not super hyped about, it's an easy skip to just keep saving stones for the anniversary. Although I suppose if it is something you are super hyped for, it's then kind of awkward that it comes out like a month before the anniversary starts. But either way, I think good spot, a good choice for a dual Dokkan Fest. So then we have the 11th anniversary concept, Ultimate Fights Through History. So part 1, you've got the Goku versus Frieza, Goku Kaioken into Super Saiyan, and then Frieza final form into full power Frieza. This is something that people have wanted to see for a while and has been speculated for anniversary before as well. I mean, we still don't have a Dokkan Fest final form Frieza, which is insane. So obviously this is a good pick. And then yeah, Goku transforming into Super Saiyan obviously is something that has been done before, but having him start off as the Kaioken and then transforming into Super Saiyan, I think is cool, and has been speculated for a new Namek version of Goku for a while, and obviously doesn't like then cause any linking issues with any like base Gokus on the team or anything like that. So I think this is a solid pick. It says use the narrator like Legends did for their intros. If you haven't seen it, go watch the animations for both. They're amazing. Yeah, the narrator goes as the doomsday clock winds down. So good, I want it in Dokkan as well. Side note, a narrator voice for Majin Vegeta Final Explosion like the anime would be fire. Be pretty cool. And so yeah, then when we get into the anniversary, we can talk about some big ticket Easy A's like the Carnival Goku and obviously the final form Cooler. This guy being the first Carnival LR and then being the first Carnival LR to get an Easy A. Obviously going very well with the new Goku when he transforms would be very cool. Super Easy A's for the transforming Goku and Frieza would be kind of crazy. Like, I feel like it'd be a bit too ahead of schedule, but for something like the anniversary, it makes sense to have those big jumps ahead of doing something crazy like that, which would be super hype. And then obviously there's the part 2 LRs there as well, the Super Saiyan Duo and Metal Cooler. Super Easy A for Prime Battle Frieza makes a lot of sense. Third form Frieza getting an Easy A. Got the Super Saiyan Namek Goku Dokkan Fest, which again, with the new Goku being Kaioken, he would still fit perfectly on the team. Same thing with the LR Full Power Frieza getting a Super Easy A. And then there's that Tech Piccolo from the Namek Worldwide, who just is absolutely terrible. It would be nice for him to get an Easy A and actually be good, I guess. So part 1 is the Namek Goku versus Frieza, and then we have part 2. So remember, the theme is still ultimate fights throughout history. We have Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Kid Buu. Finally, LR Kid Buu can be real. Yeah, finally the memes can end. I do feel like it's more likely we're getting Daima for the anniversary, but as this person specifically said at the beginning of their post, they've given up on predicting Daima because, as a lot of us, throughout the year, for all the things like Golden Week, Global Dokkan Campaign, Tanabata, all the times that we've predicted, like, surely they must be bringing Daima now, and then they haven't. So I think anniversary is probably the best bet, but this person has mentioned they're not including Daima here at all. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Kid Buu. Then we've got Easy Ace for Int, Majin Vegeta, and the banning unit Trunks and Goten. Super Easy A for Ultimate Gohan. The Super Easy A's for the Super Easy Ace for the 3-year LRs. I think we would be expecting those anyway. It says it's Dokkan got to have some fusions. I mean, also technically, remember, they weren't listed up here, but for the anniversary, it's almost guaranteed that the 8-year units are going to Easy A, right? Because they've been doing that now for the past few celebrations. But then, yeah, we just have a bunch of other Buu Saga characters to get buffs. The Dabura, the Superman Great Saiyaman, Tien, that old school Spirit Bomb Goku. They could give out some more copies, I guess, for people who don't have him. Super Easy A for the Hercule and Buu. Buu Piccolo has real potential for an Easy A, and then the Supreme Kai and Kibito. So these guys could all be very, very good, strong buffs for a Majin Buu Saga team. So this would certainly be very, very good. And then we also have, what is this, the 11th anniversary EX part. This is just my idea on what they may do if they structure it similarly to the GDC, where Gohan, Goten, and Trunks were like a Part 3 LR, leading to the anniversary having an ending like this as well. So, bye guys, Goku. I mean, this is definitely an LR that people have speculated about and wanted for a very long time. Okay, yeah, and then here's where the 8-year LRs are mentioned, the Dokkan Fests and the 2. Were they Carnival LRs already at this point? I can't even remember now. But yeah, the Goku and the Kid Gohan. So I think this would be pretty cool. The theme for the anniversary, ultimate fights through history, and then it's kind of like the big major Namek fight that we haven't seen represented for a while. I mean, Buu Saga, we've seen some stuff recently, or we got the like Tech Vegito for the 10th anniversary, but obviously wasn't like the finale of the Buu Saga. And then kind of having the Bye Guys Goku and LR that people have wanted to see for a while as like the EX part, similar to like a Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. I think that would definitely be very, very cool. So we got some very interesting predictions in here, going from essentially now up until and including the 11th anniversary. Shout out to Fusion Counter for putting together the thread of all the images, coming up with the predictions, and then obviously tagging me in it. Like I said, I thought it was an interesting idea to do for a video, since speculating about what's upcoming is kind of all we can really do at the moment until the live stream on Saturday. So shout out to Fusion Counter, and yeah, do let me know if you have predictions. Let me know down below in the comment section if anybody else wants to put together like a big proper thread like this with the images and everything. I'd be happy to go over another one of these, especially if it's very different. So yeah, let me know, and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.